Hey, I was just gonna do a little wrap up too, just later on with what Matt did. The this was a tight one. Um, I liked what everybody was doing. The going hard and using all the money for Japan against the United States and locking me up was a pretty good move. I liked it. I liked it. I liked it. Um, and then towards the end, we knew we'd lose the Philippines if he sent everything after it, the sea battle. But it was it was a decision that we wanted to a attrit your air forces and units and draw you away from Burma and Yunnan. You had to go one direction or the other, and because I probably was the bigger threat in the Philippines because there's a lot I could have done with that. I could have landed troops and maybe taken Shanghai or Kwangtung, gone down and take islands. I had the guy back in P-57 that could go out and do, take like Borneo like I did. So it's probably the right move to go ahead and take these guys out. But our plan was to, like I said, lure your forces this way, and then India was going to take Burma, and then push up into Yunnan after that and take away 2 points. Um, the it's hard for it's hard for Italy. I think Italy in the beginning, their fleet having their fleet divided up as it was allowed us to take targets of opportunity. Even if it was trade offs, it was worth it to take away Italy's navy. So it would have been better to maybe harbor those resources just a little bit more. Then Germany, had a sizable force. I mean, that tank force was intimidating, but just the way it worked out, um, you pushing everything to Ukraine and being a little bit infantry deficient helped me a lot. I mean, we just cut bait on Leningrad. We didn't care about Leningrad. Um, but with you in Ukraine and me being able to match it with all my fast movers meant that if you went to, I mean, you know this because you play it. If you went into Tula, I can route and attack it through Tambov. If you went up and took, Kaluga somehow, I still can take that entire force and move it up to Moscow. So, whatever you blitzed and did, I had a counter to slow you down. And yeah, throwing everything down here just basically shut off the Caucasus, and was that was it, right? So this battle was pretty much over as soon as we matched forces here, and really, you didn't have any good options after that because your infantry wasn't with your tanks. You just didn't have the enough troops to push any further. I have no doubt you could have taken Normandy, Bordeaux, and um, I mean Paris wasn't the goal, but I mean if you left it unguarded, sure we would have taken it. But the idea is to get on here, cut away from your IPCs, get America there with transports and bombers, and just cause havoc and wait for an opportunity, which eventually came in southern Italy. Um, Man, I like what British did a lot. I mean, look at that: tanks, airplanes, everything works. And of course, you were feeding, Japan. We were feeding the UK, and so I think between the UK and the Commonwealth, that's where the money's best spent because obviously the UK's feeding so many mouths here. They're feeding the home islands, Gibraltar, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, India. So uh, yeah, there you got to give it to the British, I think. Um, and like I say, if the opportunity arises to make um, the Commonwealth stronger and get them on some islands and get them enough income to start going crazy, yeah, do it. But otherwise, in this case, I think maybe we used it a little bit, got them some planes that really helped out in defending them. There was, if you had transports out here, you had enough planes and everything to maybe make a attempt at Sydney, which would have been suspect. I don't know. You might have gotten Sydney, but then the United States could have pushed in north and caused more havoc. But yeah, this is a good game, man. It was really close. So yeah, like you're saying, looking at it's like 12 points. What could he have done? Um, and the way we had you just kind of there's too many fronts for you to uh, guard at once. So you had a lot of fighters, you had a lot of bombers, but we could have pushed into Yunnan, or you could have tried to take the Philippines back, but you couldn't do it all at once, and you couldn't save all the oil at once. And I think the way I was going to do this was just to put a unit in Kansu and rail everything I could to Tunguska, and then yeah, you could take Kansu back, but then I'd have my entire force that could push in and retake it. And then it's kind of this weird chess move thing or something where um, if I didn't have Kansu, you could defend it by putting buttload of planes in there. But in this situation, it wasn't going to work out because if I take it and you take it back, you can't land your planes there, so it's going to fall to us. And this, I had it divided up. I had it all worked out. I was going to actually take all of my tanks and mechs and I think maybe like seven artillery, 6 or 7, I don't know, and push all the way to Bessarabia, and then everything else was going to go after those tanks. And I think I had it at like 95% or something. So yeah, everything was going to go to Bessarabia, and then that would put us right on top of the oil fields of Romania, and maybe even Warsaw. And that's why those American bombers are there. That's why this bomber's here, so they can come up and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They could basically hit your blockers and open it up for the Russians to blitz through. Maybe like it's always a case of you just never have enough resources. Um, and to rail to Poland, yeah, you can take you can take French units, German units, Western German units, but it limits your options. You'd have to take them away from Paris and maybe even open that up for us. We were cognizant that you had one tank, right? One tank in France, and you still had your blitz. You could have blitzed through northern Italy and hit it, and then brought your whole freaking air force after us. Um, so that's why we were piling everything in there at the end. Would have been a interesting battle, but yeah, it would have been maybe left a few tanks behind, but it was rough, right? You gotta always decide where your resources are gonna go. Were you gonna save Paris, or were you gonna save Rome? And you definitely saved Paris. We weren't gonna crack that nut. Well, I've talked too long, and if you made it this far, congratulations. And I look forward to the next one, and we'll see how it goes, especially with the spoils of war cards gives us at least a little wrench in the machine each game and makes it new. So I really like that, and I look like that they're coming out with 10 more. We'll see how that plays. All right, you guys, take care. Stay warm.